Let's talk about what it costs me to keep my milk cow. Since I'm actually feeding 2 cows at the moment, I'm going to kind of round down on these numbers, and it's going to be more of a rough estimate of what it costs me per week. I am having to feed hay, and then I also feed alfalfa pellets at milking. So between the two of those, it's costing me roughly $75 a week to feed her. Each time I milk, I'm getting just under 3 gallons. So I'm milking once a day. So that puts me in at about 2.5 to 3 gallons per day. So over the course of a week, I can say roughly 17 gallons of milk. Right now, 17 gallons is about the minimum amount I will be getting per week. My family can pretty easily go through about 10 gallons a week if I'm using it to make butter, cheese, yogurt, etc. So just based off of the average market price in our area, we are paying about $10 a gallon for raw milk. So if I were to buy that same amount of milk that my family goes through in a week, I'd already be spending $100. So just thinking of it that way, it's cheaper for me to be feeding a cow than it would be for me to be buying this amount of raw milk. Every week we drink about 3 to 4 gallons of milk. I typically turn a gallon or so into yogurt. I like to also skim cream off of 1 to 2 gallons and turn that into butter. And then also if I have the time, I like to turn 4 gallons of that into a pot of cheese. A 4-gallon batch of cheese will yield about 4 pounds, maybe a little under. So if we do the math on how much we would be spending to buy 3 to 4 gallons of raw milk plus 3 to 4 pounds of raw milk cheese, that alone is going to cost us more than we're spending to feed our cow. I also included the prices of what it would cost to buy the cheese pre-made. So you're looking at about $30 to $40 for 3 to 4 pounds of raw milk cheese and another $30 to $40 of raw milk just to drink. So just with those two numbers right there, it's worth it to pay to feed the cow every week, even before we include the price of what it would cost for butter and yogurt and all the other things you can make with your milk and cream. So overall for our family, with the amount of milk we use every week and the cost to feed her, it does make sense for us to keep a cow. Right now we're getting more milk than we're able to use. So if that's the situation you find yourself in, there are different things you can do to use up that extra milk, depending on where you live and if you want to go through whatever kind of regulations you have to. There's always a potential to sell your extra milk. If you don't want to sell it for human consumption, you can always think about selling it for pet consumption. A lot of people will sell raw milk for dogs or cats or pigs or anything like that. You can also feed it to your other animals. We do feed quite a bit of our extra milk or our old milk to our chickens. It's also great if you're raising pigs, you can feed it to pigs. It helps them gain weight quicker. For us, putting in the extra work to milk the cow every day is worth it because we're able to have an abundance of raw milk, and it's the most cost-effective way to have that.